My name is Chris, but I can't really talk about myself without first talking about my dad. My dad was born in the rural Appalachian town of Lynchburg, Virginia, to an unsupportive mother and an absent father. For the first 16 years of his life, he basically worked as a subsistence farmer until terrible home conditions forced him to run away. My dad always felt like he could live a better life for himself, so he started reading a ton of books, and while he was homeless, he learned enough to actually get a scholarship to college. A couple years later, he graduated from college and started a company and lifted himself and a ton of other people out of poverty. Because of this, I had a childhood of no worries. But growing up, I always looked up to my dad. I always knew about the power of technology and business to make a change in other people's lives because I'd seen it happen to my dad. And I kind of wanted to recreate this. I remember the first couple of companies that I started when I was, 5 or 6, where I'd go out into the forest and collect bottles and rinse them off and try and sell them as antiques. And later, as I learned how to code and got a bit more advanced in things that I do, I'd make video games and go and sell them on digital online channels and make a bit of money. And this was all fine, but I always felt like I didn't know why I was doing what I was doing. It felt empty, and it felt like there's no real purpose, no real weight. I continued being really interested in business and being really interested in technology and learning how to build things, but I didn't know how to apply them. I finally began to find the answers that I was looking for my sophomore year at Stanford when I took a class called CS50, Using Tech for Good. In this class, I was partnered with a nonprofit organization called Akshaya Patra that had a real-world problem. They basically relied on a system of volunteers to feed millions of children a day, but that entire system was based on paper and mail when this was the digital age and they could have been easily using email or wireless communication, all sorts of a myriad of databases and wonderful, wonderful technologies. So I was partnered with this organization to redesign their volunteer system. So I spent a couple of weeks or a couple of months working on this project and working with a couple of other Stanford students and working with the actual organization. And by the end of the time, we had developed a solution that they actually took and started using. And all of a sudden, I saw the work that I had done being used to feed millions of kids in India. And it was a life-changing, incredible experience. I realized that I had finally found the intersection of technology and meaning. And that really affected the way that I did things from then on. Like, since that point, I've worked with governments, I've worked in social change labs, I even started my own nonprofit that exists at the intersection of using technology to have positive impacts on people. And I think that's really something that I value at my core now. So I'm incredibly thankful for that experience.